welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie and I'm the artist and owner behind NMC Design Studio, which is a small art business based out of Seattle, Washington. This weekend, not today, it is nighttime on Friday, but this weekend, we are going to be vending at two different Lunar New Year events. The first one is going to be Lunar New Year at Finney Ridge in Seattle, and that one is actually, both of them are pretty short events this weekend. And then the one on Sunday is going to be a makers and bakers event. So I believe I'm the only maker or artist who's vending there, and then there's a baker who will be vending there as well. Both of the events, I want to say I actually don't remember off the top of my head. I think Finney Ridge, so the one tomorrow on Saturday, is either 2 or 3 hours long, and then I want to say the one at Lucky Envelope Brewing is 3 hours. So they're both very short events, which honestly I'm happy with because I have not actually vended at an event for like a month now, which means we need to get suitcase situated, because I did inventory. Oh my goodness, adult business things. No, I took inventory for like beginning of the year, getting all my numbers sorted. So the inventory part of my suitcase that I take to events with me is definitely a mess and needs to be redone. And then like this area with the displays could also use a little bit of work. You definitely can't see it, but there are some just loose business cards up in here because things kind of spill when we travel places. So we're gonna get everything situated, and then I will see y'all tomorrow bright and early. Event starts at noon tomorrow, but for setup I'm trying to get there by like 10:30, which means we need to leave earlier than that. We'll be up in the morning to take care of Blossom and then head out the door, but I will see y'all then. Hello, welcome to Finneywood Lunar New Year. I'll take y'all around in a second, but we're actually all set up and got here. It was pretty quick to get here. Finneywood isn't too far from where I live, so that's always nice. I was actually talking to one of the other vendors here, but who vended here last year as well. But so they provided a table, but I had to pay. And I was trying to think, and I didn't actually go and check my email yet, but last year I believe they just provided tables without people having to pay. You could just request it. So that's a little bit like, it does feel like there's a similar number of people here, like vendors, in this room. We're in the same room that we were in last year as well, and it feels like a similar number, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how like traffic is today. Got all set up.
Wait, that's so cute. The little sticker sheet with all
Yeah.
stuff.
That was a person who is actually outside of the room, because I think they're doing like a little collage activity. Their art is delightful. You should go check them out. But I think I was saying it feels like similar number of people, maybe like a little bit more, but it's not like crazy more. So we'll see how, because I know last year I think was their first time doing this event. So we'll see how traffic is for this one. And I lied last night. It's a 4-hour event, so it's 12 to 4. Similar to last year, they have 2 different times for like the lion dance performers. And last year saw like a significant decrease in foot traffic when that happened. So we'll see how that goes for this time. I think it's at like 2:30 and 3:15, I want to say. So we'll see if there's again like that very significant dip in traffic. Last thing I want to tell y'all before go walk around for a second. Last year there was definitely a booth that like had drop shipped things, and I see them again this year. And I actually provided in my feedback last year, hey, like, don't like drop shippers, they aren't like handmade and stuff. So maybe I'm like fully judging them wrong and they are handmade, but it's like the crochet stuff. I think there's actually two that I've seen, so I'm not a fan, but you know, it's whatever. I will check in with y'all later. Hello, it is just about 2 now. It's 1:59, so we're really getting there on the dot. Let me know if y'all have any questions. 2 hours to go. We're halfway there. It's been pretty slow. I've had 3 sales in 2 hours. I think, trying to think of money. I don't think we've made back booth yet. I did have to go look it up. I think we paid $40 for booth. Actually, let me double check again because I actually don't remember, even though I literally just looked at it. 45. We paid 45 for booth plus renting the table. And I think sales-wise, we're probably around, I mean, we're close. If I had to guess, I'd say we're around like 40-ish. We've sold 3 sticker sheets, a zine, and then a keychain. So we're pretty close to like breaking even, but halfway through an event, I don't want to be close to breaking even. I would have loved to already have broken even. So I'm kind of hoping that traffic will pick up, like people will arrive at like 2:30 for the lion dance, since that it felt like it was kind of like that last year, but people arrived before last year. I think also last year it was maybe 1 to 4, so it was 3 hours last year, and then they expanded to 4. But like the first hour was really slow. And I mean, this last hour wasn't much better. So hopefully the last 2 hours will pick up a little bit more in traffic. They did just announce a calligraphy workshop, which is one of the things I really like about the Finneywood events, is they tend to try and have not just like artists or vendors, they also have a lot of activities going on to kind of bring people in. Let me know if you have any questions. Demographics wise, it's a lot of older folks. There are definitely some younger or like my age folks as well, which is generally who I find buy from me, but it is a lot of like older, especially, and a lot of young kids. It's been funny because I mean, you can see behind me, like this entire back wall is a mirror. And so there's not a booth right next to me this way, but all of the little kids want to go look in the mirror. Like there's one literally going over there to look in the mirror right now. It's also people, like adults, walking over there, and then because they think that there's a bunch more booths behind me, but there isn't. And then they realize and they turn around real quick. Hello.
How are things going over here?
Pretty slow. How have things been for you? Yeah, you have to not be at your booth to get sales, right? Or eating. The 2 things. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions about anything. One thing I didn't think about when I was making some of my newer sticker designs. So I have new stickers that say like Savory Slut, Treat Tramp, and Hungry Ho. And they're grouped into like my regular sticker prices. So I have 2 like sticker displays, and I usually try and have all of the regular stickers in one and the large stickers in another, so it's easier for people to understand the pricing difference. Previous to this, hello. all of my regular size stickers were pretty like safe for work and just like a little bit silly. With these new ones, I definitely become less. And I usually would put those like table level so they're more visible for kids as well, which isn't the greatest now. So I considered putting those 3 up with like the large stickers, but then I was like, that's confusing. So we're gonna have to think about that. Maybe I just don't put them out when it's a more family friendly event. I've also had a lot of people, because my general like greeting to people is like, hello, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, it's funny because I don't have any, but like my friend group as a whole has a lot. And we host a lot, so it's been fun trying to figure out like recipes that work for everyone.
A lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I want people to be able to eat things without worrying about it if they're coming over. Yeah.
And I love your top too. That's
Thank
really
you.
It's a giraffe.
Thank you. Welcome back.
I would like a sticker book, so if you see anything you like.
Yes. I was eyeing your Genshin prints. Okay. Would you do 2 to trade for a sticker book? Awesome. I'll do Mondstadt. And then let's do Inazuma. That one's really pretty. Yay!
I purchased the wrong sleeve for this, but it works.
It works. Yeah, just let me know which one you're grabbing.
Oh, I did not realize there were more.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah, trade complete. So I got this print, and then there's another one in here as well. This one, I'm not going to pull it all the way out because that means I have to put it all the way back in. But that's from Sun and Sage Illustration. I will try and check back in for the end of the market, but we're going to do this again tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better than what it's been today so far. Okay, we're about 20 minutes from closing, so it's 3:40, and we've made back booth, which is exciting. Not by much though. We did have a couple more sales in the last 2 hours, but we are at, I just did the calculations in my head. So we made a little bit over 60. I want to say 64. Maybe that's right. Yeah, I think it's 64. Maybe it's 62. Anyways, a little bit over 60. Again, booth was 45. So for not even including transportation, which was a very small amount because bus, but that's still $6 for transportation. So putting that all together, expenses were around 51. Income was, we'll say 64 to be generous. That is what, $13 of profit, and that's not including like product costs or subtracting any of that. So really not good for this year's event, which is crazy because last year's event was really good. I'll throw up last year's numbers and maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more in the wrap up for the weekend. But yeah, last year I was really surprised how well it went, especially because it was a shorter event last year. I almost want to say it was a 2-year-long event last year, but it might have just been 3. But I remember thinking, because I think I made somewhere between 200 and 300, and being surprised with how much I made in such a short amount of time for an event that I really went into having like no expectations. Yeah, I don't know if it's the weather, because it's been raining today, or if it's they increased the number of vendors outside maybe. It seems like they slightly increased the number of vendors inside, but the just amount of people also seemed a lot less. It's also weird because it didn't really seem as though there were as significant dips in traffic when the line dances were going on, but maybe that was also just because there wasn't as much traffic to begin with. Last year, when the line dances weren't going on, it was really consistent foot traffic all the time. And we're 15 minutes from the end, and there's not that many people in here.
As we start to wind down, remember that Crafts and Marketplace will be open until 4 p.m. Be sure to complete your projects, make any final marketplace purchases, and enter the raffle before we close.
But yeah, so I don't know if I'll do this event again next year. We'll see. Especially since, like, one thing it seems like they took from vendor feedback was around the dips in traffic. So they actually, it sounds like, set up televisions to show the recordings of the line dances in the upstairs and downstairs of this building. But also, there's 2 crochet booths. But the one that was here last year, that I'm pretty sure I mentioned in vendor feedback survey, has so much stuff, and it's been pissing me off throughout the day because I keep seeing them get sales, like they just got a sale, and I don't begrudge like the consumers, because how are they gonna know if they're going to like the vending space? But it still annoys me because those sales could be going to people who actually know how to make the art instead of just buying
Your work is very beautiful.
stuff. Anyways, that's my little like soapbox rant. But we're about 10 minutes away from close now. I highly doubt I'm gonna get another sale. I am gonna try and trade with another person though. So, and we'll be able to chat with them to see how they did. But I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Welcome to Lucky Envelope Brewing. We have just finished setting up. It is 3:10. We did finish setting up before 3, so we did make it. Oh my goodness, there's a cute dog. Hello. Let me know if you have any questions.
Like, are you like a printmaker?
Yeah. So this one right here is digitally done, so it's not like a block print, but the rest of the prints that are on the table are. These ones are linoleum blocks, and then the other one that's up here is a wood block.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon's really cool.
Thank you.
Do you do a lot of like Seattle neighborhoods for your
I have done 4, and I want to do more, but yeah.
Which 4 have you done so far?
3 of them are here, so I've done Northgate. Fremont was my first one, and then I did Queen Anne. And I've also done University District, which I don't have with me today.
Cool. Oh,
Yeah.
I got the Queen Anne one in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with the Queen Anne one, please.
Cool. And you wanted the one with watercolor?
Yeah.
Cool.
Lovely.
Cash card or Venmo?
Oh, card sounds good.
Yeah. Awesome. And then a
The
couple.
bus, you got a bus thing.
I have a bus, and then this one down here is light rail. Yeah. Couple questions for you, and then you're all set. Okay, we swapped the camera view because I had a feeling that the like my head was going to be cut off, and it was. So it is now 3:17 p.m. What you just saw was a clip of a lovely person buying a Queen Anne watercolor block print. It's already trending better than yesterday because We also had one of the co-owners, who was the person I was emailing back and forth with, come over and buy a few things. So already better than yesterday, especially considering the fact that this event was free to vend at, and they provided me a table for free. So it really is just transportation costs, which is busing. But I think that was also actually my last watercolor Queen Anne. I'll have to decide. I wanted to do some watercolors, and I actually had some of the prints set aside to do watercolor versions for U District and Northgate. If you haven't seen my work before, we'll grab this one. This is like one of my Seattle neighborhoods prints. This one specifically is Northgate. For Fremont and my Queen Anne ones, I had done some just black and white and some with the certain parts watercolor. So those ones cost a little bit more, but it's fun because you get the little pops of color. My goal was to do that for U District and Northgate as well, but then I just never got around to it. Even though like I said, I printed some extras specifically to set aside for doing the watercolor. But I kind of feel like at this point, it's a little bit late to do them, but I don't know. That aside, it is actually getting quite a bit busier in here. So I'll probably check in maybe in the middle of the event, maybe at the end. We'll see. We'll see how bored I am around that time. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Okay, it is 4:44, so we're about, what is that, an hour? 30 plus 15, about an hour from closing. Traffic picked up like at, I want to say like 4. We had a good amount of people come through, and by a good amount of people I meant like people just kind of like spent a long time looking. Notably, we've made more than we made yesterday. I'll do a retro at the end of the video, like I usually do, and we can kind of compare contrast the two events. But yeah, even just right now, like we're almost 2 hours into the event and made way more than we made in total yesterday. I also got more things. So I'm vending right next to, I'm gonna butcher the name, I'm so sorry, Anhoy Bake Shop. And so I got cookies. So we have the strawberry corn milk, which is so good actually. There's so much strawberry in it. The coconut mung bean, just talking to the owner and baker, and I think it's my first time trying mung bean. And then the Saigon Soul, which is like a snickerdoodle but has like pho seasoning. So it's really good. It tastes like a snickerdoodle, and then I can taste like the little bits of pho in it. But I brought 2 of my Dragons and Dice prints, and both have sold to the same group as well. So had a person earlier, and we were talking a lot about like fan fiction and anime, and it was great. And they bought one of the Dragons and Dice prints, and then the person they were with came back like just now and bought the other one. Hello. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I'm excited to eat my cookies later. They also have samples, so I got to try it. The Vietnamese coffee and white chocolate was also really good, but it was just like a little bit too coffee-y for me. But like if Reese could eat it, I know he would love it because it's coffee-y, but unfortunately gluten. So sucks to suck for him. I didn't even realize, hopefully that background noise wasn't too bad for y'all, because I didn't even realize that it was going. It like turns on sometimes and then turns off, and I feel like I've just like stopped paying attention at this point. It's just gonna become background noise. So hopefully it wasn't too bad for y'all. I'm like halfway through my beer. This was the raspberry sour. I went and told the bartender, I don't like beer, but I like cider. What do you got for me? And they suggested this one. It was good. We're making our way through that. I'm sure my face is red, and you can tell that I've been drinking alcohol, because I get really bad Asian glow. Sometimes it'll get like splotchy. By almost, I mean like I am certainly allergic to alcohol, but I still drink it. So, I will check back in with y'all tonight because I've set myself for not failure, but success. And hello. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, all of these guys are stickers.
Gonna get a couple of these.
Yeah.
Awesome monkey.
Awesome. Do you want to do Cash Card or Venmo? Cool. 7. It'll be 15 total. Yep. Awesome. You are all set. Thank you so much. I fully do not remember what I was talking about. Oh, I remember now. I was talking about how I've set myself up for definite success because this video is supposed to come out tomorrow, which means guess what I'm going to be doing tonight. So I will talk to y'all later today, but at home when I have numbers in front of me and my brain probably won't be there. But you know, we'll get through it together, right? So I will see y'all later at home. We'll talk about the numbers and compare things, which is always fun. Hello, friends. We are back home, and I have my tiny little sheet of notes to go over numbers with y'all, which is, I don't know, I find it really interesting to listen to other people's numbers. So hopefully you find it interesting as well. So I've got three different sets of numbers here. I have Finneywood Lunar New Year from last year, so 2025. I have Finneywood Lunar New Year from this year, so 2026, which was our Saturday event. And I have Lucky Envelope Brewing Makers and Bakers event, which was today's event. And I've broken it down a couple different ways. So just reading off things. Oh, first though, I do want to correct some information that I think I misstated earlier. So Finneywood Lunar New Year. I don't remember if I actually said it in a video clip, but I know when I was talking to some other people, I said that last year, 2025, was their first year doing it. According to Instagram, last year was actually their 3rd year doing it, so that means that this year was their 4th. Completely off base. I don't know where I got first year from. Maybe just because I had never heard of it before. I don't know. And last year's Finneywood Lunar New Year was 3 hours. It was 1 to 4 p.m. So going into numbers, Finneywood last year I made a total. So this is all inclusive. It's the big old number that I got at the end of the event. Total of $230. Looking at profit, so that is subtracting any product costs and then also subtracting booth cost, which for last year was $25, transportation needs, anything else like that. Our total ends up being $132. Comparatively, this year's Finneywood Lunar New Year event, the total made was $92 and the profit after subtracting, again, product cost, booth cost, which this year was $45 because we had to rent a table as well, whereas last year it was just offered or included. And then transportation costs comes to $10.50. So a lot less, all things considered, and really terrible profit, right? And then for today's event, our total was $320. And our profit, including, again, product cost, booth cost, transportation, was $253. And one thing to note is booth cost for this event, the Lucky Envelope Brewing, was actually $0, and they provided a table, which I'm always very appreciative of because, again, public transport and folding tables, as well as a big suitcase, don't mix well together. So one thing I also wanted to look at with all 3 of these events, because they're all like on the smaller side as well as like lower hours. Oh yeah, Lucky Envelope Brewing, I think I mentioned it earlier, but it was 2.5 hours. Finneywood this year, so 2026, was 4 hours. And like I said earlier, Finneywood last year, 2025, was 3 hours. So we have a 2.5, 3, and 4 hour event. So I did want to look at, with all of these being kind of smaller events, the number of transactions that I had, or like number of sales, amount of times someone handed me money. And Finneywood last year, so starting back at 2025, Finneywood 2025 was 13 total transactions. And I calculated the average purchase amount for each of those transactions. So Finneywood last year came out to around $15.77, which makes sense. That's around the price that someone would pay for like 3 large stickers or 3 regular size stickers with a sticker sheet on it as well. So a lot of my things fall into like the $10 to $20 range, especially when you consider like all of my deals for specifically stickers, which tend to be my best selling things. And then looking at Finneywood this year, the number of transactions, which actually did surprise me, was 11, which isn't that many less than last year. So I was like, well, why is it so much less? You can guess what the answer is, because math. But I then decided that's actually what kind of triggered the wanting to see the average purchase amount for transaction. So Finneywood this year's average purchase was around $4.27, which basically means that most people were buying like a single sticker or a single sticker sheet, because that's $4, $5, $7, right? So the purchase size was just so much smaller than what I've seen at a lot of my more recent events, and like even what I was seeing last year. And then going to today's event, so Lucky Envelope Brewing, the average purchase amount, or actually, sorry, backing up, getting ahead of myself, the number of transactions was 10, and the average purchase amount was $32, which does track with what I was seeing today. I had, what was it, two purchases that were over $60, and I had a couple people buy prints, which tend to be my higher priced items. There were just a lot more like larger in quantity of things being gotten purchases. So, and then the last breakdown of numbers that I did, because we love more comparisons, is I took the total amount I made and just subtracted the booth price. I didn't want to subtract like product cost, because everyone's product costs are going to be a little bit different depending on like where you're getting things manufactured, how you're getting them manufactured, etc., etc. So just subtracting the booth cost, which I mean in theory should be pretty similar for the same event for anyone, from the total I made, and then looking at the length of the event, so seeing how much we made per hour. So for Finneywood last year, 2025, we made $68.33 per hour. Again, that was a 3-hour event, so that pretty much tracks. For Finneywood this year, 2026, we made $11.75 an hour, which is on par with some of my worst events, like Northwest Folklife Festival 2025 and Geek Fest West 2025. I guess the good thing about Finneywood is it was a smaller number of hours for me to be there and suffer. It wasn't suffering, it was still good vibes, but it was less of a time commitment versus Northwest Folklife Festival was a 4-day event, Geek Fest West was the 3-day event, so it was a lot more time invested. So it was a lot more time investment for very little output. And then Lucky Envelope Brewing was $128 an hour, which I don't think I did an hour breakdown for like SakuraCon or any of my Pride events, but I would guess that it's maybe on par with those. I also didn't do an hour breakdown for Punk Rock Flea Market. Maybe we'll do that in the future. Apparently I tend to do hour breakdowns for my worst performing events to see what it is. Basically, I mean, makes sense. You want to check if you're making minimum wage technically. And in this case, for Finneywood, I was not. But Lucky Envelope, I definitely was. But we will see. I know Finneywood, the event organizer, came over to my booth during the event, and I briefly mentioned that it was kind of slow. I don't think I said to what extent it was slow. I was still trying to be like a little bit nice, but they mentioned that they'll send out the vendor survey as usual, which they did do last year, like I mentioned. And I don't think it's a case of like, this event is terrible, never go to it again. I would imagine that weather definitely affected attendance. I'm not sure why though, like transaction purchase amounts were so low this year, especially since I have another event the day after where purchase amounts are very high. So I'm really not sure there. I know at least one thing that I'll definitely give feedback on is not providing tables by default really sucks, especially when it's something that they provided for no fee last year. And then the fee for it this year, I don't think I thought about this when I was paying for it, but it's almost the same price as the booth fee, which is kind of wild to me. I don't mind being charged a little bit for like the event organizers to provide me a table, but to have it be almost the same price as the booth fee feels meh. It's also like an organization that I don't think is trying to take advantage of vendors necessarily. And like I mentioned before, I feel like they do really try to put on good events, and they don't want their vendors to take a loss. And it did seem like they tried to make improvements from last year to this year as well. And definitely go check out Lucky Envelope Brewing. Like, I had a great time there, and I was telling Reese when I got home, because the drink I showed you earlier was a raspberry sour, and I mean, I kind of already knew that like of all of the beer types, I would like sours because they're the closest to ciders. They're the least beer tasting beers, it feels like. But like, I actually kind of enjoyed it. So I feel like I can't say that I don't like beer now. I just have to say that I don't like any types of beer other than sours. But the raspberry sour was very good. I'm sure their other beers are also delightful if you like beer. But you should definitely go check them out. They were so nice and so kind. And if they ever wanted to have me back, I would definitely go because it was a really fun time. But I think that is it for this weekend. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I post videos every Monday about my artwork and what it's like running a small art business. I also want to say thank you to my Ko-fi subscribers for supporting me. If you're interested in supporting me further, you can subscribe to me on Ko-fi for $1 or $3 a month, and you'll get different rewards like your name in this video, as well as monthly behind-the-scenes sketchbooks and digital backgrounds that you can download for your different devices. Thank you again for watching. Happy Lunar New Year. I hope this next year brings you lots of love and prosperity and a lot of good art. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.